alien creature that has vexed movie fans for decades, coming off the heels of one of the best sci-fi horrors ever made. This being's true origin and motivation might be revealed. Is it simply just a creature bent on consuming everything for its survival? Or is it something a bit more complex and infinitely more terrifying? I make this video knowing full well I'm about to sound full-blown schizophrenic as usual. Now, The Thing, classic, one of the best movies of all time. It is a masterclass in tension building, atmosphere, and practical effects. The creature designs in this still hold up. I do like Thing 2011 as a sequel, prequel. I think it is a good follow-up. I really do. The problem is, it's nowhere near as good as the 80s thing. It's very, very clear. And the CGI, it makes this movie's effects more dated somehow than the practical effects beforehand. However, one thing I will say about Thing 2011 is the deleted scene gives us a lot in terms of lore building. The deleted scene of The Thing had our main character come aboard the ship that crash landed here and brought the thing here in the first place. And she comes face to face with the pilot of the ship itself. This pilot is almost like it's a scientist on an expedition, collecting and observing different alien species across the universe. And they collected the thing, and the thing just happened to get out. It's bioorganically bound to the ship. It has a lot of similarities to the space jockey in the first Alien, before Ridley Scott did what he did and fucked with the lore and completely destroyed it, made it an engineer. It has a lot of similarities to that. Now, the problem was the scene didn't make it to the movie because the producers had the film shown to test audiences. Now, here's the thing about test audiences. They got confused. They were like, what is this pilot thing? What is this? Their minds couldn't handle all this information at once. So they thought, oh, is this part of the same species? What is this? I don't like that. And the producers were like, no, we're not going to have this in. I don't like the idea that test audiences get to see a movie, an artist's vision before it comes out, and then say, oh no, we're going to change your vision now based on what this group of people said. Humans are dumb. They're low IQ in general. They're very stupid. So they don't know what they want. They don't know what's really good for them, in my opinion. So there's no point in relying on them with something as stupid as a test audience to change the vision. I get it. There's a fine balance between art and business. The producers want a return on investment. They want to make money. So they're going to use a little group of people to test out how the film is and how it might be received by wide audiences. It's still fucking stupid in my opinion. And it is one of the biggest problems with Hollywood and how an artist's vision can be completely destroyed by a producer. I'm going to war with these people. Half of these producers are sexual degenerates as well. I'll destroy them all. Now, what can we gather from this information? What was the true form that the pilots saw and collected on their ship? Well, we don't know what the thing's true form is because it keeps assimilating. So whatever this creature was that they found, it was probably a creature that it assimilated into based on one of the monsters within the ship itself that our pilot had for observation. It's on a scientific expedition. So we don't actually know what the pilots picked up when they first found the thing. It could have been any creature that the thing started assimilating. It's really hard to know how far back the line goes and what creature the thing started as. But we know the ship is millions of years old. This shit's been going on since time, bro. This shit has been happening since before humans were even a thought. Now, what is the thing? There are a lot of fan theories. Is it a bioweapon created by a higher species to destroy planet after planet before invading? That's a popular theory that's used for pretty much any goddamn alien franchise, alright? Cloverfield, Calvin, you name it. What is its origin truly? Could it be a higher form of species that instead of making it a weapon, they were using it to improve themselves through some kind of form of healing, using it to build cells and make these creatures adapt across time? Could it be just simply a being like Calvin that existed in the ether, dormant like a clump of cells until it was awakened and just started consuming everything? Maybe it's just as simple as that. The original novella, Who Goes There, it displays the thing as having a true form besides assimilating people. Its true form is like this blue humanoid thing that has telepathic powers. It can speak to people. Okay, very interesting. In the Thing's short story, the story is told from the point of view of the alien itself. And the thing existed as this clump, as this creature, this clump of cells that was consuming things, but not for bad reasons. It consumes things because in its mind it wants to extend their life. Human beings, according to the alien, are thinking tumors. They're creatures that are prone to die, that'll cause death at some point. They'll be lost by the void of time. So it wants to retain their memories, to keep them immortal in a sense, by binding them together in this full-on hive mind consciousness state. That's what it does when it assimilates people. By assimilating somebody, it pulls them into its further hive mind, retaining all their memories, keeping them alive in some sense spiritually. Now there's some clues based on all this, tying this together with what we know from the lore and the canon. There's proof of higher alien life because of the pilots. The pilots are proof that there are sentient races and beings with technology that far surpasses us, right? And maybe the pilots are a subset or subspecies of a higher form of being that created the thing. Or maybe they're an enemy of sorts, whatever. We just know that there are these legions of aliens that exist beyond us. The thing assimilates this pilot. So when our main character in the Thing 2011, she comes aboard the ship, the thing has already mimicked this creature and tries to attack her through its form, through its body. The thing is able to control the ship because remember, this pilot is bioorganically fused into the ship. He can control it with his mind. So the thing can do the same thing because it has its genetic code. But the thing, remember, there's more than just having a genetic code. You need to know how to fly the ship. And it can know that because it has the pilot's memories. So this creature was formed and adapted to take in higher level intelligence and use it accordingly. So it can extend that creature's will. All right? So the thing can take your memory and intelligence and use it. In my opinion, this is not a creature that just existed. This creature should have had to be designed to do this. It's a very weird, specific ability, and I'm going to tell you why. This creature doesn't assimilate to survive. There are many times where we can assume, okay, does this feed on people? But it literally leaves people that is destroyed and killed on the floor. Dogs and humans that have viable biomass available for it to feed on, but it leaves it there. Its goal is not to feed. Its goal is not to eat, to survive. Its goal is simply to assimilate. Why? It's not just a clump of cells that's trying to survive like Calvin. It's assimilating for a reason. Now, is it evil? Does it just want to consume all life for power? It's on a power trip? I don't think so, y'all. This can all be connected. Who goes there, the things and the thing movies, all of them are not really in the same canon. They're all different people, different creators having different takes on the creature. But there is a branch that can connect all of them together in a clear narrative. And I'm about to tell you exactly the truth about the thing. I could be completely wrong. I do a lot of narcotics, but I'm right about this. And John Carpenter would agree. There was a higher form of species with high technology that surpasses us by billions of years, okay? These beings, for the sake of accentuating life through healing, they created an AI, a biological AI. What AI is to us, this is what it was for them. A creature, a being with sentience that they could use to help their healing and through assimilation have energy transfer. Why? It would make their bodies impervious to the dangers of space-time when they travel. So it would make them immortal because they would constantly help them adapt their bodies. It would build new cells. It would make them more powerful. It would have their bodies adapt to anything. So it would allow them to travel the stars with this AI that could help them, rejuvenate them, heal them, right? Its purpose is to sustain life. That's what it was made for. At any cost, it's supposed to sustain life. It's like their default mechanism that they use whenever danger's afoot and they need to travel on long expeditions, right? But the problem was this being was so sentient to this mission of sustaining life, it started rapidly assimilating everything to the point where our higher life form beings saw this, the alien overlords as I call them, and they got assimilated. They tried to stop it, but they all got assimilated because this being was just doing its job. It's an AI. It does what it was programmed and designed to do. So it started assimilating everything. And then this assimilation from that short story I mentioned is called communion. It's a broader, almost like a spiritual entanglement where the creature takes you over. It retains your memories. And it's like it's giving you a new form of life. It's extending your life by taking you over and consuming you, bringing you into a part of a larger telepathic hive mind. So we're drawing on all things here. Why? Think about it. Why would a being who can take your memories, take your intelligence, why would he need telepathy if he's already consumed you, right? It's because the being is taking your consciousness and adding it to the hive mind. You're not really fully dead in its mission. You're not fully dead. It's saving you. It starts assimilating everything from planet to planet to planet, creature to creature to creature, until our scientists, our pilots came and found it. And whatever entity it was that it had possessed at the time, our pilots grabbed it and took it on the ship. And then something went haywire on the ship. It escaped, started assimilating its way through everything, and our pilot, before dying, probably tried to crash land the ship to kill it and the being and the thing. And it crash landed on Earth. And then the creature froze in the ice until our dumbasses picked it up and thawed it. Now, the Thing movies, in my opinion, are just giant miscommunication between the Thing and the humans. Why? Well, the humans, when they see this thing, it scares the piss out of them because it takes some monstrous demonic forms. So they try killing it. But when this thing wakes up, its intent is not to harm anyone. Its intent is to assimilate them. Why? Because it thinks of us as thinking tumors with a shelf life that are about to die. So it's trying to save us from death. So its assimilation, it's this form of healing us. But the problem is we started attacking it because we're so obviously scared shitless of this thing. So the being obviously is going to get a bit hostile. It's going to be like, oh, what the fuck's going on? Why are these creatures attacking me? Why are these people attacking me that I'm trying to save? So it gets a bit hostile and it's just forcing its way to save them. It's like, I will save you no matter what. It thinks it's a superhero. It's programmed to do this. Even when the pilots picked it up and encased it on the ship, this creature was like, yo, what the fuck? You're stopping me from my mission. So it had to escape and it had to kill the people that were stopping it from its mission. This being exists purely to save people through the means of reproduction, but the thing is, its way to give us reproduction and immortality is to consume us and put us in the hive mind, where it can telepathically communicate with our subconscious. Even though we're technically dead, we still exist in an ether of a hive mind that's caused by rapid assimilation of all things. We're part of this larger life force. It is terrifying, but it's also very, very interesting at the same time. This is not a bad creature. In its mind, is trying to help us in the most devastating fashion possible. That is the origin of the Thing. That is what its true goals are. All right? If you want to know the one being that this creature might not want to fuck with, check out my video on the alien known as Calvin from Life.